See, this is when all of them damn percentages are wrong, G,
Yep.
because it doesn't take into account who the guy actually is that's playing football, okay? When you look at Josh Allen and you think about getting an inch, every coach in America should say, yeah, we can get an inch with this guy. Even if guys don't get their block, he can run through an arm tackle. He can figure out a way to get around. Obviously, he lost his footing, but this was about Jeffrey Simmons. This was about leverage. This was about stopping a guy in the backfield. It was a phenomenal play by Jeffrey Simmons for the Titans, but it was absolutely the right call with a quarterback that's 240 plus.
And the point you made here is actually the percentages say he got it right.
Yeah, you're right.
But that this is a sign of how much the league has changed in recent years.
I mean, 10 years ago, every coach in the league kicks a field goal there, ties it, and is happy to go to overtime. But that's really important, I think, for people who watch these games to understand how that's changed. The percentages say you have a better chance of winning the game if you go for it here than if you kick the field goal. If you go for it and get it, that percentage skyrockets.
Thank you.
You do not want to go to overtime and leave this up to a coin toss that Tennessee could win and then hand the ball to Derrick Henry, and you never see the ball
and
again.
get out the way!
So, Jeff, let's talk about what goes wrong. Very specifically, the Bills, you said, make one critical mistake in the execution of this play.
Yeah, Deion Dawkins, the left tackle for the Buffalo Bills, he has to leverage the play and the man. So you know that Josh Allen's going to take the snap, and then he's going to try to insert right in between the guard and the center. Well, Dawkins has to get his left shoulder to Jeffrey Simmons' left knee. That's called crossing the T on somebody. You have to get all the way across, and also his leverage point is high. You see Simmons is underneath him. All of those things lead to the failure of this play. You have to execute in big moments. That means Dawkins' left ear should go across that, get all the way, and he should be underneath. You see Simmons is on his right shoulder. He's below him, so now Dawkins is up. He's in what they call a catch position. You're getting driven back. I don't care how big your quarterback is. You still have to execute the block. He just didn't make it.
I've had football players saying to me for 25 years, low man wins.
Absolutely.
And in that case, he wasn't the low man. So we woke up yesterday, Dominique, in a world where I think it was fashionable to say the AFC is Buffalo and then everybody else.
Right.
What world do we wake up in now?
The same. Like, I still feel like Buffalo is a very good team. They're still the best team in the AFC. Like, this is a Monday night primetime game in Tennessee, and maybe I'm making excuses for the Bills, but you're not going to win all the games. You're going to lose some games. This is a reasonable one. This team, the Titans are a team with respect. They're a team with a tough head coach, a team that's reeling a bit. They got up for this game. And it's not like the Bills got blown out. Like, if Josh Allen keeps his footing, I know you said you don't care how big he is. He's big as Derrick Henry. If he keeps his footing, he might fall forward for that 1 inch. So I still think just because the Bills lost, it doesn't make me lose any confidence in them. They struggled in the red zone. They moved the ball pretty well. I think Josh Allen and the Bills are still the class of the AFC.
Well, how about that, Marcus Spears? Bills still the class of the AFC despite the loss last night, yes or no?
No. Listen, man, and it really is not about last night. Did y'all see the Ravens play the Chargers? Like things are starting to come together in the AFC. And listen, I still believe the Bills are an elite contender to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC. But there's other teams. It's just like I talked about yesterday on NFL Live with the Chiefs. Your margins for error are starting to shrink. That's football. That's week to week as we go. Teams are getting better. Other teams are starting to figure things out about themselves. And some teams will fall off at some point during the season. I just think the gap is closing, especially with what we're seeing from the Baltimore Ravens from a defensive standpoint against the Chargers. We know what Lamar is. They get Bateman back. They starting to run the football. These running backs are getting acclimated to what Greg Roman wants to do out in the run game. The Ravens are a team that's coming, and we starting to, and obviously Lamar is there. So, yeah, Buffalo is still that deal, but the margins are getting very, very small.
This is my favorite part of the NFL. We're prisoners of the moment, right? Yes. Like, it's all about matchup. I mean, you got the Ravens going out and beating up on the Chargers. Guess what? You can run through the Chargers. Their defensive line ain't stopping the run. So it matches up really well with the Ravens. Last night, Buffalo, Tennessee matches up well, right? Derrick Henry can run through that defensive line. All of those matchups. The greatest part of the AFC is you don't know. It's who's hot that night, who plays, and who executes. The bottom line is execution is going to matter in the AFC. Nobody's a class above anymore.
I mean, the Bills have been the best team in the AFC for the last calendar year, right? Over the last 11, 12 games of the regular season last year, they were the best team. They lost to the Chiefs in the championship game, obviously. But, yeah, this isn't just based on one game. Tennessee needed that game more, right? I mean, if they lose that game, they're only a game in front of the Colts.
And by the way, the Titans this coming week will play Kansas City. How about Derrick Henry against that Chiefs defense?
That's gonna be some trouble down there. I hope they get healthy and get healthy fast. And I hope that for their sake, Patrick Mahomes doesn't get any balls tipped, because that's gonna be a fun matchup.
Now, the world may be stunned to see the Bills lose this game to the Titans last night, but you wouldn't have been had you been watching yesterday. As I've said many times, mine is that rare genius that will not be fully appreciated until after my time. And I hate to be that guy, but I was the one who had it right yesterday.
Do you hate to be that guy? Do you?
I don't think he hates to be that guy.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.